Hello everyone, Sniping is Fun here, and I welcome you all back to the next Super Smash Bros. Discussion video live on my channel. Well, not live, technically it's live with me recording it right now, but for you'll be catching it after the fact. But yeah, this is going to be another discussion just like I recently did with the Mortal Kombat one. Not specifically asking for a specific character, but this one is going to be asking if a specific franchise deserves to be represented in Smash Brothers or added to Smash Brothers. I talked about that with Mortal Kombat because when it comes to like Mortal Kombat, like there's multiple characters that could easily deserve to get in, and I didn't want to do separate videos if there was ever a Mortal Kombat character. I mean, like Sub-Zero. I didn't want to do a separate video on like Sub-Zero and Scorpion and Sonya and whatnot, like I did with like why do people want insert character here videos, because those are specific characters for their franchise or specific characters for whatever. Like if there was ever a Mortal Kombat rep, we really don't know who they would add. And in this regard, and you see the name of the thumbnail, the name of the video, the thumbnail and whatnot, this is going to be talking about the Resident Evil franchise and my thoughts on should Resident Evil be included in Smash Bros. Should Resident Evil make it to the roster? And I'm going to have my positives, I'm going to have my negatives, and just like the Mortal Kombat one, like I'm kind of even Steven here. I mentioned the same thing with Doom Guy. I mentioned the same thing with Mortal Kombat. Like Resident Evil, I'm kind of in the middle. Like I would love to see a character in the series, add to Smash Brothers. So I might favor the pros and the positives here and why it makes sense in this video. But I don't really care in the long run if a Mortal Kombat character, I'm talking about Mortal Kombat now, if a Resident Evil character ever did indeed make it into Smash Brothers. But at the same time, would I love it? Yes, I'm a fan of the series, and I've been a fan of the series since around the GameCube days with Resident Evil 4 and the remake, and a little bit of 2 on the N64, and a little bit of PlayStation 1 sort of. But like I love the series, and it is an iconic gaming series, so I would love to see it actually represented in Smash Brothers. So Smash Brothers is now not just about Nintendo and All-Stars, but about all of gaming and both All-Stars in smaller franchises and characters, like so on and so forth. So wow, this will be another one of those gameplay videos. I have the Resident Evil 2 remake lined up and set up right here on my PlayStation 4, and let's get this talking about should Resident Evil be added to Smash Brothers. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm more even on the idea, but since I favor-ish more of the the positive sides, I'm going to start with the negatives, just because like it make it a little bit more even. Why would Resident Evil not make sense to be added to Smash Bros? Why would Resident Evil be like a franchise that doesn't make sense? Now this is the same regard as in I mentioned with that I mentioned with like Mortal Kombat, like how graphic and M-rated of a franchise like it is could be a detriment. Do we have M-rated franchises in Smash Brothers? Yes, we have Bayonetta, Metal Gear Solid, we have Persona. So M-rated franchises aren't like a detriment and like automatically cutting a franchise out, and like won't automatically disqualify a franchise from ever being added to Smash Brothers. But I think what type of M-rated franchise it is could be, and I mentioned in the video about Mortal Kombat, we have not gotten, first off, we don't have many Western-based franchises in Smash Brothers, but then a Western-based M-rated franchise, which, to be fair, like we over here in America tend to focus more on violence than Japan does, so our M-rated games tend to be a lot more graphic and a lot more violent and vulgar and whatnot, sort of, and bloody and whatnot. Japan does that too. Like you can see that in like the Resident Evil franchises here, because you've seen blood as I was walking through the hallways and whatnot. Oh crap. So you have seen, and they definitely have their M-rated franchises that have like the more blood and guts to it, but like a lot of their M-rated franchises are more, I think, not as bloody. Oh, come on. Get off me, buddy. Like Resident Evil's probably is like a rare exception. Dude, stop! Get off my freaking leg, dude. Where'd you come from? Oh jeez, I think Leon's dead. Die, Leon, die. Come on, come on, yeah. I waste. Oh crap! I forgot I wasted it. No, Leon, don't! No! Leon, don't! Leon, get out of there. Die, Leon, die. I think he's dead now. And Leon's dead. Yeah, that's definitely dead. See, yeah, I told you, like, there's, like, blood and guts here, like, but, like, for M-rated franchises in Japan, that's more of an exception rather than a rule, unlike over here in the West or in Europe, which we kind of focus a lot more on, like, the actual violence in M-rated games. But, like, so that's a negative, I think. Like, first and foremost, we don't have too many M-rated characters in Smash Bros., M-rated franchises in Smash Brothers, and second off, the more violent and gruesome ones have not made it at all. Like, Metal Gear Solid has its violence, but it's not super bloody, gory, and like super M-rated. It's just more M-rated in terms of like the violence, to some extent the death and killing kind of thing, and like the storyline. Like Bayonetta more so because of her looks and like the sexuality of the whole thing, which is also something Japan focuses more on than we do. And then Joker, like Persona is kind of the same thing as the Bayonetta, like the whole like the story, and like Metal Gear Solid, even like the storyline elements and what like kind of things Shin Megami Tensei and Persona tackle, like and whatnot, and like the sexuality kind of stuff. So in terms of that, no, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. As sad as it is to say, and as iconic of a franchise as it is, it doesn't really make sense, really, because we really don't have too many M-rated franchises, and really to represent M-rated, mature-rated franchises in Smash Brothers, Nintendo or otherwise, because Nintendo that could easily kind of fit into that. Like it varies. It's oh, there's a map. Oh, good. Thank you. It does. It's like you have to pick and choose like which ones would make the most sense in Smash Bros. But given that, like the iconic status of it, I guess it makes sense. But being an M-rated franchise already almost puts it at slight disadvantage, regardless of how iconic it is. And like Resident Evil, in the same vein as Mortal Kombat, is very gruesome. You can see right there, very bloody, very like a very dark franchise. And to throw that in the Smash Brothers, even with M-rated characters like Bayonetta and Snake and whatnot, I think could be a little much, maybe. Like if it as much as some like other M-rated franchises, or especially anything that's related, which Smash Bros. Tends to be more of an everyone type of game, so really that kind of is a deterrence, you know, to like M-rated franchises. So like the negatives in terms of like representing in terms of like putting in like Resident Evil and representing Resident Evil in Smash Brothers is it doesn't really fit the view so much. It doesn't really fit like the setting so much, and it's very violent, and really that's about it. I think there's more positives for Resident Evil than there really are negatives, but I think it balances each other out because of how big the negatives kind of are, given that it is a like an M-rated franchise automatically kind of puts a deterrent, puts like a block on it to some extent in Smash Brothers. But it's not a total like not going to be able to. You know, it's not a total, like, not going to make sure the franchise never gets in kind of thing. But in terms of positives, I want to talk about that right now. It is an iconic franchise. Resident Evil's been around since, what, 97? 6? Something like that. Like, it was a fairly early PS1 game. Actually, it was about 90 yeah, about 96, I think. It was back with the big box PlayStation 1 games. You know, the big, like the rectangle type ones before they did the CD cases. So the first game was like that. It's an iconic franchise. Capcom is super huge with Nintendo and has been since freaking forever. Like day one, since NES and whatnot. Like Capcom supports Nintendo. And Resident Evil is a big first off, Resident Evil is a big, iconic, selling, popular franchise in video games, but especially even on Nintendo. Like most of the games have been on Nintendo. There's only been a select few, like the spin-offs back in the day, and like stuff like this, like Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake, and have not made it to like Switch or anything Nintendo, at least as of yet. I would certainly hope that one day they could, though. Resident Evil 8 isn't confirmed at all yet, possibly for Switch, and so on and so forth. So it's like select few games, but Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7, because it's like a cloud-based game on Switch. Like the Revelations games, Mercenaries 3D, the Chronicles games, pretty much everything's on Nintendo. It is a third party that has huge ties to Nintendo and is hugely popular on Nintendo and sells hugely on Nintendo. There's a huge part of the Nintendo fan base that love Resident Evil and would buy games if they were available on the systems. And marketing that and including that in Smash Brothers, in my opinion, makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. And also, to be fair, and I didn't mention this yet, technically Smash Brothers is already kind of in, you know, Resident Evil is kind of already in Smash Brothers. Like there's like there's spirits. There was a spirits like event for Resident Evil in Smash Bros. Ultimate already, so you could get the likes of Claire and like Leon and Wesker or whatever, whoever the characters were already. In Smash Brothers. So if they would be able to willingly put a character in, you know, through spirits, I'm sure they'd be willing to put a character in, maybe an actual character. And there's nothing really holding it back besides it being an M-rated franchise, and like the weapons, which I said as kind of a thing against the likes of like Doom Guy, because a lot of Doom Guy's weapons are real life shotguns and real life handguns, but he does have space laser beam hardware too, so you can kind of get around that, as well as his rage and beating people up kind of thing. Like you can kind of get away with it too. These people use knives. We've had knife users in Smash. We have other weapon users in Smash. So it's like you can get around like real life weapons to some extent by doing it a certain way, and you could also do oh jeez. You could also do other things, like Leon, for example. He knows, like, he was in like the Secret Service. He knows how to do hand-to-hand combat and knives and everything, but then you can also throw in weapons to use and other things. And you can throw in one of the monsters, and they use like crazy weaponry too, but it's like more like crazy over the top, which would fit Smash Brothers well. It depends on if you want to represent one of the heroes, one of the monsters, one of the villains. It depends on who you want to represent. But overall, I think all the characters' movesets work quite well, and you can make it so it's not super violent, and the representation of the zombies and like dark horror aspects of the game can be mostly found in the stage. Watch it be taking place in Raccoon City. That's an interesting stage kind of idea. You know, there's a lot of things you could do with Resident Evil in Smash Bros. Where I think it does make sense, and it's an iconic franchise that has loads of history on Nintendo, loads of history in gaming, and it fits in there. If Snake could get in, like, and you can move a moveset around Snake, you can make a moveset around like a Resident Evil character, and it would fit just as well, but even with like the blood and violence, because you don't really have to have that. Just like Doom Guy and the Mortal Kombat characters, not as, but probably more so. Like, you could probably get away with having less violence on a Resident Evil character besides just the weaponry, like cutting like blood and guts and stuff like that over like a character from that series than probably like Mortal Kombat or Doom, probably more so. But it all depends on how you want to look about it. Like I said, I'm kind of even Steven on this. I really don't care if they get in or not, but I'm also not one of the kind of people that like I would definitely be happy if they got one, because I definitely think the franchise deserves it, and definitely think it would be cool to see a character get in. But it's like a hit or miss kind of thing. Like, it depends on what you look at, because it does have both positives and negatives, and there are things, just like Mortal Kombat, why it makes sense and why it doesn't. Just like I mentioned with Shantae, just like what I mentioned with Doom Guy, Waluigi, like Gino, Minecraft Steve. All these characters have positives and negatives. No one is definitively like no and yes, except for maybe like certain characters are definitive no, but a lot of characters that have yeses do tend to have no's against them, and it's like, it just depends on what in the world like you're going for, and what in the world Sakurai first and foremost wants in Smash Brothers. And I think Resident Evil, being as iconic a franchise as it is, I really truly do think it deserves it, but I'm not super like gonna be pissed off or sad if it never does. But it being like Capcom, one of Capcom's biggest franchises, has history on Nintendo, and they're friends with Nintendo, Capcom, big business partners. I think we could pretty much get a see a character like this in Smash Bros. And it would make sense. I don't know. It's just like, what do you guys think? Put in the comment section what you guys think. You guys think Resident Evil makes sense for Smash Bros? You guys want, and then if you want to see a character from Resident Evil in Smash Brothers, like it all. I don't know. It's just like, it's probably everybody's opinion's different on this, and like, I would love to see it, but I'm not going to be sad if we don't. But I'm not going to be one of these characters, like these people out there that are like, well, it doesn't make any sense, because it does have some sense to it. But is it like a be-all end-all, like it's going to make a whole, like there's nothing going against the franchise ever making it, in the Smash Brothers? No, it does have its detractors and like the reasons for why it doesn't make sense. And I said the same thing with Mortal Kombat and the same thing with Doom. M-rated franchises aren't really in Smash Bros. Outside of a select few characters, and right now the only franchises that are M-rated in Smash Bros. Are Japanese ones, which definitely helps Resident Evil in this case. It doesn't really help so much Doom and Mortal Kombat. So it's like, it varies. I don't know, people. So yeah, that's about it about Resident Evil and Smash Bros. Should Resident Evil be in Smash Bros? Does Resident Evil deserve to be in Smash Bros? Put in the comment section what you guys think. My name is Sniper1. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. Have a lovely day. And I'll see you all later in the next Smash Bros. Discussion, as we end with him being killed. Goodbye, Leon, and good night, everyone else. See you all later in the next video. Bye, everyone.